On Christmas Day, when the table glowed with holiday lights, my daughter poured a glass of wine over my head right in front of the kids, family members, and all the visitors. Her fury exploded during the cheers to our loved ones, destroying the image of a joyful celebration. But the surprise that crossed her expression when I cut her out of my inheritance forever was just the start. I had no plans to end there. It was far too late now. Before we go on, please subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are tuning in from. The wine glass shook in my grip as I stood at the head of the dinner table, prepared to give my speech. Christmas Eve, 2024. The turkey shone golden beneath the chandelier's glow. Candles danced warmly, and my finest white dress shirt felt sharp against my skin. Ideal. Exactly as Madeline would have desired. To family. I started, lifting my glass toward my daughter Chloe, her husband Austin, and their children, to honoring those we've lost and treasuring. Chloe's sharp laugh sliced through my words like shattering crystal. Stop this pretense. Her tone broke with 6 years of built-up anger. You have this coming. The red wine arched through the air in slow motion, reflecting the Christmas lights as it soared. Crimson liquid splattered across my face, seeping into my collar, trickling down my chin onto the spotless tablecloth. The quiet that came next was overwhelming. Emily began sobbing. 9-year-old Jackson hid behind his father's chair. The Walkers, our neighbors, stopped with forks midway to their lips. Aunt Martha let her napkin fall. I remained still, wine dripping steadily, my engineer's brain noting specifics, the warmth of the fluid, the splash design on my shirt, the precise path from Chloe's spot. 45 years old, and my daughter had just flung wine at my face during Christmas dinner. Chloe, stop. The children are seeing this, Austin murmured, but his words held no power. She was not done. Standing from her seat, Chloe's features contorted with bitterness that had simmered since Madeline's funeral. 6 years. Dad, 6 years I've pleaded for aid with credit cards, and you get them inexpensive plastic toys from the discount shop. The Walkers started collecting their coats with uneasy speed. We should likely, Mrs. Walker muttered, avoiding all eyes. Those are not inexpensive toys, I said softly, wiping wine from my chin. I picked each one thoughtfully. Thoughtfully cheap. Chloe's voice climbed higher. While you lounge in this large home, guarding Mom's life insurance funds, your grandchildren receive trash. Aunt Martha tried to calm things. Chloe, dear, this is not the moment or setting. When is the moment, Aunt Martha? When he is gone and it is too late. Chloe seized the gift I had wrapped for Jackson, a model rocket kit I had spent hours choosing. Look at this $25 rubbish while he is worth $600,000. Austin pulled at her arm. Please, let us head home and discuss this correctly. But I was examining my daughter's expression, seeing plainly for the first time in years, the scheming behind her rage, how she showed up with nothing but anticipated presents, how she faulted everything, the wine I selected, the dishes I arranged, the food I cooked by myself. Emily cried harder. Mommy, stop shouting at Grandpa. Your grandfather does not care about us, Chloe snapped back, ripping open Jackson's gift. See this rocket? This is what 50 years of being his daughter brings you. Scraps. The model rocket scattered in pieces across the floor. Jackson whimpered. I knelt to gather the broken bits. My actions were intentional and composed. When I stood tall, every gaze in the room fixed on me. The wine mark spread over my chest like a chart of disloyalty. Thank you, Chloe, I said, my voice firm as stone. Thank you for revealing your real self. She hesitated briefly, maybe noticing something fresh in my manner. But her drive pushed her onward. My real self, what about yours? Dad. The morning widower routine while you hoard every cent. She swept Emily's gift from the table. These kids deserve more than your miserliness. The neighbors had made it to the front door. I heard their car engine start in the driveway. Austin made one final effort. Chloe, we need to leave now. The kids are distressed. But Chloe was reaching her peak, reciting every money request I had turned down over the years. Each phrase felt like another wine splash. But this time, I was prepared. This time I was observing, absorbing, recalling. My engineer's mind started figuring options. The credit card debt. Dad, $20,000 we requested your help with last summer. Chloe paced behind the strewn gifts, wine glass still gripped in her shaking hand. And what did you say, learn to manage finances better? I stayed by my chair, wine cooling on my skin, handling each charge with mechanical accuracy. Behind me, Aunt Martha quietly guided Emily and Jackson toward the living room. But their scared whispers still echoed the roof fixes 3 years ago. 15,000. We basically begged. Chloe's voice broke with real feeling now, or a believable act of it. You said the bank would offer better conditions than family. Austin stood powerless between his wife and the door, car keys rattling in his anxious hands. We really must go. This is not fixing anything. Fixing Chloe turned on him. Nothing gets fixed because he hides in his stronghold, tallying Mom's money while his own family suffers. The claim about Madeline's life insurance struck differently than the rest. I felt something change in my chest. Not hurt, but sharpness. Cold. Logical sharpness. Your mother's life insurance, I repeated gradually. Paid for Emily's hospital costs when she arrived. You know this. Some of it. What about the remainder? Chloe waved wildly at our environment. This home, the updates, your valued workshop in the basement. Meanwhile, Jackson needs extra lessons. We cannot afford. From the living room came Emily's sniffles and Jackson's questions about why Mommy was mad at Grandpa. Aunt Martha's soft replies could not hide their bewilderment. I moved to the fireplace, stepping over scattered wrapping paper, wine stains tracing my route across the rug. Each step felt calculated, purposeful. The extra lessons you brought up in November. Yes. And you said I would cover it straight. I contacted 4 services and left notes with your school advisor. You never pursued it. Chloe's drive wavered. That is not... We were holding for the proper program. Austin cleared his throat. Maybe we were considering other choices first. Other choices. I turned from the fireplace, and something in my look made both step back. Or other money sources. The room fell silent, except for the grandfather clock's constant tick and the children's murmurs. Aunt Martha appeared in the doorway, coat already on, Jackson's hand in hers. Knox, I am taking the children to my place tonight, she declared strongly. This is not suitable for them to see. Aunt Martha, do not, Chloe began. No. Martha's voice held command that startled everyone. You have shamed yourself and hurt these little ones enough. Emily, sweetie, grab your coat. As my great-niece assisted the children in collecting their items, I watched Chloe's face shift through feelings. Rage, irritation, and something that could have been embarrassment. But not regret. Never regret. Fine. Chloe slammed her wine glass on the mantel. Take them. Let Grandpa explain why Christmas got wrecked. Christmas got wrecked, I said quietly. The instant you picked cruelty over thankfulness, Austin jingled his keys more urgently. Chloe, please, let us just go home and calm down. But I was not finished. 6 years of cautious patience, of wishing she would grow up, of forgiving her actions because she was mourning too. All of it formed into clear insight. Austin, take your wife home. I met his eyes straight. And do not bring her back. Dad. Chloe's voice rose higher. You cannot just... I am. I stood to my full stature, wine marked but steady. You are no longer allowed in this home. You are no longer my daughter. The silence that followed felt distinct from before. Final. Chloe stared at me, mouth opening and closing without words. Austin grabbed her arm, already heading toward the door. You will regret this, she whispered. Then louder. You will die alone in this home, counting your funds, and no one will mind. The front door banged shut hard enough to shake the windows. Car doors slammed closed. Tires screeched against the driveway asphalt. I stood alone in my damaged dining room, encircled by scattered gifts and shattered hopes, wine still dripping steadily onto Madeline's fine carpet. The grandfather clock chimed 8 o'clock. The echo of Chloe's exit lingered in the air like haze. I surveyed the mess systematically. Overturned wine glasses, ripped wrapping paper, the model rocket scattered in fragments by the hearth. Christmas dinner sat cooling on the table, untouched plates beside ruined settings. I walked through each room with intentional steps, recording the ruin in the living room. Cushions lay askew where Jackson had hidden behind chairs. The kitchen counter showed wine splashes that had somehow traveled 18 feet from the dining room. Even the hallway walls displayed crimson spots. My engineer's training activated naturally. Evaluate the harm, collect proof, develop a strategy. From my shirt pocket, I pulled my phone and started photographing everything. The wine stain across my dress shirt, the broken gifts, the disturbed table arrangement. Each picture time-stamped and exact. I narrated as I worked, recording voice notes with clinical separation. December 24th, 8:15 p.m. Subject threw about 5 ounces of red wine across a span of 10 feet, showing clear purpose and planning. My voice sounded odd in the empty home. Destruction of gifts meant for minors. Public shame in front of neighbors and extended kin. In my study, I opened the wall safe behind Madeline's portrait. Inside, insurance papers, the will I prepared 4 years ago, investment reports, property titles, everything Chloe assumed she understood but had never truly viewed. The will had been straightforward then, direct, innocent. I spread the documents across my oak desk, switching on the banker's lamp that had belonged to my father. Numbers revealed tales if you knew how to interpret them. Asset worth, account totals, insurance recipients, a lifetime of careful organization, conservative placements, and systematic savings. Madeline's life insurance had indeed been considerable, but Chloe's charges of guarding were entirely wrong. I opened my banking app, scrolling through 6 years of dealings. Emily's hospital bills settled completely. Jackson's preschool expenses covered for 3 years. The roof fixes Chloe mentioned. I sent $15,000 to their account in April 2023. My phone buzzed. Text from Chloe. Dad, I am sorry about tonight, but you really wounded us by saying I am not your daughter anymore. Can we talk tomorrow? No sorry for the wine, no recognition of the children's pain, no reference to the wrecked gifts or shamed neighbors, just control disguised as mending. I captured the message screenshot and added it to my proof folder. Another text. Austin says I should have managed it differently. But you know, I am under a lot of pressure with money issues. Please do not stay upset. Still no true sorrow. The design was evident now. Recorded and indisputable. I called my lawyer's office, aware I would get voicemail after hours on Christmas Eve. Marcus, this is Knox Everett. I need an immediate meeting as soon as possible after Christmas. The issue concerns updating my will and cannot hold until the new year. Please return my call tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. The home felt altered now. Not vacant, freed. I took off my wine-stained shirt and went upstairs to change, leaving the proof bagged and labeled on my desk. In the mirror, I appeared older somehow, not beaten, but sharpened, directed. Madeline's photo observed from the dresser. I lifted it, examining her gentle grin, her kind gaze that had never witnessed Chloe's true essence. I am sorry. Love, I whispered to the frame. I should have established limits years ago, but I will correct this now. Back in my study, I took out a yellow legal pad and started creating lists. Assets to shield, records to assemble, legal approaches to investigate. My writing stayed steady, systematic, driven. The phone rang at 9:30. Marcus Lawson calling back despite the late time. Knox, I received your message. Are you okay? You sound changed. I am fine. Marcus, better than fine. Truly. How soon can we meet? Well, tomorrow is Christmas, but I could see you Friday morning if it is really urgent. It is. I glanced at the proof spread over my desk, at the photos showing Chloe's attack, at the texts exposing her real focuses. We need to talk about inheritance safeguard methods. My daughter has revealed her intentions, and I plan to act accordingly. I understand. Marcus's tone became businesslike. Bring any pertinent records. We will examine your choices thoroughly. After ending the call, I leaned back in my leather chair and assessed the shift. 7 hours ago, I had been a solitary widower, hoping for family healing. Now I was something different entirely, a man with direction, equipped with proof, and totally clear about his goals. The grandfather clock chimed 10. Outside, Christmas lights sparkled calmly in neighbors' windows. Inside, I began organizing Chloe's lesson and outcomes. By morning, I would require Jack's advice. Christmas morning dawned gray and silent. I drove to downtown Seattle through deserted streets, my folder of printed photos and legal papers resting on the passenger seat. The Pine Brew Cafe shone warm against the winter backdrop, one of the few spots open on the holiday. Jack was already seated in our regular corner booth when I arrived, coffee steaming in front of him. 72 years of friendship had taught us to read each other's expressions, and his shifted right away when he saw mine. Knox, you look like you have not slept. He rose to hug me, then motioned for me to sit. What's wrong, Sarah? Our usual server appeared with a second coffee mug. Morning, Mr. Everett, the standard breakfast. Just coffee for now. Sarah, thank you. Once she stepped back, I opened my folder methodically. Jack watched with increasing worry as I arranged papers across the small table. Christmas Eve did not go as intended. I began, sliding my phone to him. The first photo displayed my wine-stained dress shirt in sharp detail. Jack's aged face changed as he scrolled through the images. Good heavens. He looked up quickly. Chloe did this in front of the kids, in front of neighbors. My voice stayed firm, but Jack knew me well enough to sense the anger underneath. She threw wine straight at my face during my Christmas toast. 50 years of friendship. Knox. And I have never seen you this coldly resolved. Jack set the phone down carefully. Tell me all of it. I retold the evening systematically. The build-up, the outburst, the accusations, the consequences. Jack listened without cutting in, his jaw tightening with each part. Sarah returned to refill our cups, overhearing pieces, wrecked the children's gifts, and no real apology after. She stayed longer than needed, obviously drawn into our talk. When I ended, Jack leaned back against the booth's worn leather. What is your next step? From my jacket, I pulled a blue marker and withdrew my current will. Jack observed with interest as I carefully crossed out every reference to Chloe Bennett in the beneficiary parts. I meet with my lawyer tomorrow, I explained, continuing to strike through her name. Full removal from inheritance. What about Emily and Jackson? Their blamelessness in this chaos. I will set up a separate trust for them, available at 28, with conduct terms attached. I capped the marker with a firm click, but only if they show true regard for family. Sarah came near again, supposedly checking our table, but clearly listening in. More coffee. Gentlemen, we are good. Thank you, Jack replied, waiting until she moved off. He lowered his voice. You will need an executor you can trust fully. I was hoping you would take that duty. Jack reached across the table, squeezing my shoulder with surprising force. Of course, I will. It is time someone taught that woman outcomes. I took out my legal pad, noting Marcus Lawson's contact details. The lawyer proposed a video statement explaining my reasons. Would you witness it? Absolutely. Jack studied the crossed-out will with stern approval. You know, I always thought she was problematic. Madeline was too compassionate to notice. Madeline believed in second chances and third and fourth. I gathered the papers back into their folder. I spent 6 years hoping Chloe would develop. Christmas Eve showed that was foolish hope. Sarah appeared once more, this time with our check despite our hardly touched coffee. You gentlemen have a wonderful holiday, she said with clear interest, her eyes lingering on our documents. Outside the cafe, Jack walked me to my car. The December air felt crisp and pure after the closeness inside. Call me after you meet with the lawyer, he said. I want to know every part of the plan. I checked my watch. 10:30. The lawyer's office opens at 1. Actually, would you like to join as potential executor? You should grasp the legal structure. Would not miss it. Jack grinned with sudden intensity. It is time your daughter learned that choices have results. Driving home through the quiet Christmas streets, I felt something I had not known in years. The fulfillment of having a clear aim and the means to reach it. My phone buzzed with another text from Chloe. Dad, please do not stay angry. We can resolve this. Still no actual apology. Still no admission of the harm she had caused her own children. I erased the message without replying. The elevator rose steadily toward Marcus Lawson's 15th floor office, carrying Jack and me past the lively business of downtown Seattle. Through the glass walls, the city stretched in all directions, active even the day after Christmas. Marcus's secretary, Linda, greeted us with professional kindness despite the holiday timing. Mr. Everett. Mr. Monroe, please go right in. Mr. Lawson is looking over your initial papers now. Marcus stood behind his walnut conference table, my folder of proof laid out before him like trial displays. At 58, he had the careful exactness of someone who had managed too many family conflicts. Knox, I have reviewed your photos and schedule. He motioned toward chairs facing the document setup. This degree of recording is remarkable for someone without legal education. Engineering routines, I answered, settling opposite him. When something fails, you examine the breakdown methodically. Jack took the chair next to me, studying the official setting with sharp attention. Marcus had organized everything with courtroom accuracy. Proof photos, text printouts, witness accounts from Aunt Martha. Before we continue, Marcus went on, I must emphasize that major will alterations often lead to legal disputes. Your daughter could argue undue sway, mental incapacity, or emotional pressure. That is why the records matter, I said. Every photo is time-stamped. Every text is saved. The behavior pattern is undeniable. Marcus picked up a magnifying glass, inspecting the Weinstein images with expert care. These pictures clearly display intentional attack, combined with witness reports. They build a strong base for conduct exclusion. Conduct exclusion, Jack asked. Washington law allows disinheritance based on proven ill treatment of the maker. Marcus clarified, physical attack, public disgrace, and continuing money control all count as enough reasons. I leaned forward. What exact wording do we require? Marcus took out a yellow legal pad, outlining notes. We will draft a full exclusion section citing particular events with backing records. The more specific, the tougher to dispute. And Jack's role as executor is vital. Marcus turned to Jack. Are you ready to defend this will against possible legal fights? It could include statements, court showings, and major time dedication. Jack sat straighter in his chair. Knox has been my nearest friend for 50 years. If his daughter wants a battle, she will get one. Marcus nodded approvingly. Good. Now, I suggest making a video testament detailing your reasoning in your own terms. Courts find personal accounts especially strong when disputing mental incapacity claims. How detailed should it be? Extremely detailed. Explain the exact events, your feelings, the effect on family ties. Marcus added more notes. We will record it here next week with Linda as witness. I pulled out my current will, showing Marcus the blue ink strikes. How fast can we complete the updates? 3 weeks for full records, including video element. Marcus looked at my markings with professional curiosity. I will also suggest setting up that separate trust for your grandchildren. Reachable at 28 with respect terms. What sort of terms? Written notes of insight on family duties. Yearly community work needs. Shown money handling. Marcus's pen moved steadily across his legal pad. Basically, they will gain their inheritance through personal growth. Jack smiled sternly. That is elegantly planned. The kids get safety, but only if they do not mimic their mother's path. Marcus collected the proof materials into neat stacks. Knox, I will prepare initial papers by Monday. Review them closely. Then we will set the video testament for early next week. And if Chloe disputes the will, these photos and texts make strong proof of her true nature. Marcus answered, combined with your organized records and video account, any dispute becomes very hard to maintain. As we readied to depart, Marcus's look grew more grave. One last thing. Avoid any direct clash with your daughter during this. If she comes seeking peace, record everything, but do not engage feelings. Actually, I said, I hope she does come to me. It would give extra proof of her controlling ways. Marcus examined my face closely. Just recall, all you say or do from now on could turn into courtroom proof. Stay systematic. Stay recorded. Stay managed. In the elevator heading down to street level, Jack chuckled with dark contentment. Your daughter has no clue what is ahead. She will soon. I checked my watch. 3:30 p.m. Drive home with me. Jack, I want to show you something in my study. Outside, Seattle's winter afternoon was already dimming toward night. But for the first time in years, I felt fully energized. The elements were aligning with engineering exactness. My phone rang as we reached the parking garage. Chloe's number. I showed Jack the screen, then answered with intentional calm. Hello. Chloe. Dad. I am so glad you picked up. Austin and I have been discussing, and we truly think we should meet face to face to sort things properly. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That could work, I replied, catching Jack's aware glance. When were you considering, could we stop by tomorrow night? Maybe around 7. I want to explain everything correctly without all the holiday tension. 7 tomorrow fits fine. I ended the call and turned to Jack with measured contentment. She is walking straight into the setup, recording tool already set. I felt the weight of tactical edge settling around me like protection. By tomorrow evening, I will have all I need to make her removal from inheritance completely unbreakable. The morning after New Year's Day found me in my study, replaying Chloe's taped apology for the 4th time. Her stress on money safety for the grandchildren had been too intentional, too figured. Something tugged at my engineer's mind, a design I could not fully spot. I opened my online banking, carefully checking recent dealings, standard pension additions, bill payments, store buys, but hidden in December's reports, I saw something strange. Login alerts from devices I did not know at times when I had been resting. Jack, it is Knox. I dialed my friend's number while staring at the odd activity. Can you meet me at First National this morning? I need to verify something. And I would like a witness. Of course. What is the issue? Maybe nothing. Maybe all. I will explain when you arrive. An hour later, we sat across from Robert Mitchell, the branch manager who had managed my accounts for 18 years. His normally cheerful manner grew serious as he brought up my financial logs. Knox, I need to show you something that has been worrying me. Robert turned his monitor toward us. This credit line was set with your personal backing 3 years ago. I stared at the file shown on his screen. $30,000 secured against my home value with monthly deductions automatically from my checking. My signature appeared at the bottom, except it was not my signature. I never signed this paper. My voice stayed firm, but Jack leaned forward, examining the screen closely. Robert took out a magnifying glass, comparing the signature to my real one on record. You are completely right. Look at the K in Knox. Your actual signature has a unique curve here. This one does not. Jack whistled quietly. She faked your name for $30,000. Evidently so. I photographed the file with my phone, making sure the timestamp showed. Robert, what is the method for reporting this scam? I will need to submit a formal alert right away. This paper will be marked, and we will start checking all recent account moves. Robert's fingers moved fast across his keyboard. I am also suggesting we examine every account where Chloe has any entry. The next 4 hours uncovered the organized extent of my daughter's trickery. Joint savings I had overlooked, opened when she was 20. Credit cards where I had been added as backer without my awareness. Investment spots where she had slowly moved small sums, always under the level that would set off auto alerts. The total risk is roughly $50,000, Robert stated after reviewing all connected to faked papers or unauthorized entry. I leaned back in the leather chair, handling the figures with cold math. $50,000 taken through organized scam over almost 4 years. No surprise she had been so eager to lock in her inheritance. She had been surviving on my credit for years. Remove her from every account at once. I directed, change every code, security query, and access key. I want Jack Monroe added as the only alternate contact and recipient on all. Robert nodded sternly. I will also need to report this to the authorities. Financial scam of this size demands criminal probe. Do it. I stood, collecting the printed proof into my folder. And Robert, I want duplicates of every faked paper, every unauthorized deal, every suspicious login, all of it. Of course, I will have the full set ready by tomorrow morning. Outside the bank. Jack shook his head in wonder. 50,000. Knox. She has been methodically stealing from you. The tape from her apology stop makes full sense now, I answered. Heading to my car. She was not concerned about our bond. She was concerned about losing entry to my accounts. My phone rang as we reached the lot. Marcus Lawson, Knox. Ideal timing. How did the banking check go better than hoped? Worse than I dreaded. I outlined the fake fines while Jack listened from the passenger seat. We have recorded evidence of organized money scam. Excellent. That bolsters our stance greatly. Marcus's voice held professional contentment. Can you meet me tomorrow afternoon? I want to go over all before we lock in your new will. Absolutely. And Marcus, I think we need to discuss criminal accusations too. After hanging up, I drove home through Seattle's calm January streets, my mind figuring the next strategy stage. The money scam gave me power I had not foreseen. Criminal risk that could send Chloe to jail if she decided to dispute the will. But something still troubled me about those odd device logins. If she had been entering my accounts digitally, what else might she have been tracking Jack? When we get to my house, I need to verify something on my home computer. This scam probe might be more complex than we thought. The parts of the puzzle were dropping into place with mathematical accuracy, showing a design of deceit much more advanced than a mere wine-flinging outburst. That night, after Jack had gone to handle the day's shocking disclosures, I sat in my home office gazing at suspicious email alerts. Login notices from places I had never been. At times, I had been asleep. The money scam was just the opening. Someone had been methodically watching my online life. I called Alex Rivera, the IT security expert Marcus had suggested for just these cases. Alex, this is Knox Everett. Marcus Lawson provided your number. I need someone to check my home network right away. What kind of security worries are you facing? Mr. Everett unauthorized entry to my money accounts, odd login moves, and possibly more. I glanced at the old tablet on my guest room desk, the gadget I had rarely used since buying it 4 years ago. Can you come tomorrow morning? Absolutely. Bring all your devices and do not alter anything until I get there. Alex turned out to be a systematic pro in his 40s. Arriving with a case full of testing gear. Within an hour, his laptop showed a network map displaying every gadget linked to my home Wi-Fi, including several I did not recognize. Mr. Everett, someone has been methodically entering your network from multiple gadgets over the past 3 years. Alex pointed to his screen, marking unauthorized links. They have logged into your banking tools, email spots, and even your health records site. From where let me follow the gadget marks. His fingers sped across the keys. This is notable. Most of the entry comes from a gadget physically in your house. My blood cooled. Show me. Alex led me to the guest room, directly to the tablet I had forgotten. He turned it on, showing a screen packed with my personal apps. Banking, email, insurance, investment spots, all signed in, all reachable, all watched. Someone set this gadget to copy your accounts and keep constant entry. Alex scrolled through the activity records. They have been observing your money moves, reading your emails, even tracking your doctor visits. This tablet has been in my guest room for 4 years. Chloe always used this room when she visited. Then she has had full watching ability over your private life. Alex started capturing screenshots of the proof. But there is more. Look at this. He opened the messaging app, showing a talk thread between Chloe and Austin that tightened my chest with betrayal and rage. Chloe, still waiting for the old guy to pass on. How much longer? Austin. He is 70 with heart issues. Cannot be much longer. Chloe, I have been tracking his accounts, still using money like he will live eternally. Austin. At least we know precisely what we will get when the time arrives. Chloe, if he does not alter his will first, that is why I need to remain in his favor. Alex watched my expression as I read their casual talk of my end. There are scores more messages like this over 3 years. Should I record all? Yes. Screenshot every message, every login, every unauthorized entry. My voice sounded oddly calm. Even to me. I want a full digital forensics summary for the next 4 hours. Alex methodically recorded the range of Chloe's watching. Banking deals watched in real time. Emails viewed before I saw them. Health files entered to follow my condition. Even my lawyer talks with Marcus had been seen through my schedule app. She knows about your will updates, Alex noted. Checking recent moves. Your meeting confirmations with Marcus Lawson were all entered from this gadget. Then she is readying for a legal fight. I sat heavily in my desk chair, handling the meanings. She has been running a much longer scheme than I grasped. Alex completed his proof report. Over 250 screenshots, access records, and digital marks proving organized privacy breach. Mr. Everett, this is criminal following and identity theft. You need to file charges. I collected the printed proof into my expanding folder of records. But first, I need to make something that will guard my aims if she tries to dispute them legally. A video will. Exactly. If Chloe is viewing my online moves, she will see me creating it. Let her know that I am fully aware of her trickery. That evening, I set up my laptop camera and taped a detailed video account of my choice to cut Chloe out entirely. I spoke straight to the lens, systematically showing each bit of proof: the wine-throwing attack, the faked money papers, the watching, the heartless messages about waiting for my passing. If someone is seeing this video, it means Chloe has disputed my will after my death. I ended. Every choice I have made has been intentional, recorded, and legally valid. She has displayed her true nature repeatedly, and I have responded properly. After uploading the video to safe cloud storage and sending copies to Marcus, I called Alex back to apply full digital safety steps. From now on, all my gadgets need 2-factor checks, encrypted talks, and regular safety reviews. I directed, I want my online life fully shielded from more watching. As Alex ended securing my network, I felt the contentment of shutting another path of Chloe's deceit. She had been observing me for years, waiting for me to die naturally while methodically taking from me financially. Now she would find that her watching had given me the proof required to ensure she got exactly what she earned. Nothing. My phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. Restraining order forms ready. Can you meet at courthouse Saturday morning? Ideal timing. The legal shield stage could start. February afternoon. Sunlight poured through my study window as I sorted through appreciation letters from folks who had joined my elder mistreatment prevention sessions. The community feedback had been massive. Dozens of older adults sharing their tales, asking for advice, showing thanks for my support work. Car doors slammed outside with unusual force. Through the window, I watched Chloe step from her SUV, her face twisted with frantic anger. She pulled something from her trunk, a handmade cardboard sign roughly written in red marker. My phone was already recording as she placed herself on the sidewalk right in front of my home. The sign read, "My father betrayed his kin. People, look." Chloe's voice cracked as she yelled toward nearby houses. This man cut off his own grandchildren from their legacy. Knox Everett is a cold-hearted dad. Curtains shifted in windows. Front doors opened carefully. Mrs. Walker appeared on her porch. Phone already taping. Other neighbors came out, pulled by the noise, but keeping safe space. I stayed inside, systematically filming through the window while calling the police. "This is Knox Everett at 247 Pine Street. My daughter is breaking her restraining order by nearing my property. Officers are heading. Mr. Everett, stay indoors and record all." Chloe paced the sidewalk like a trapped beast, holding her sign high for best view. "He has $600,000, and he will not give his grandchildren a cent. What kind of grandfather forsakes innocent kids?" Chloe Bennett. Mrs. Walker called from her porch. "We read about you in the paper. The money scam charges." "Lies!" Chloe spun toward her. "He is controlling the news. I made one error at Christmas, and now he has ruined our entire kin." More neighbors assembled. Smartphones catching all. The Walkers' teenage son streamed live on social media. By now, scores of people were seeing Chloe's public collapse in real time. 2 Seattle police cars arrived with lights flashing, but no sirens. A balanced reply that hinted they had handled family issues before. Officers neared Chloe with expert calm while I met them at my front door with a copy of the restraining order. "Here's the legal paperwork," I told Officer Martinez, handing him the forms. "She is banned from coming within 600 feet. Ma'am, you need to move away from this property now." Officer Martinez called to Chloe. "This is my father," she screamed, waving her sign like a tool. "I have a right to see my own father." "Actually, you do not." Officer Martinez approached her steadily. "You are breaking a legal restraining order. Put the sign down and place your hands behind your back." "This is crazy. Dad, stop this insanity. I am your daughter." I stepped onto my front porch, keeping the required safe distance by law, and met her eyes directly. My daughter ended that night. She threw wine in my face. "You are just someone who shares my DNA." The handcuffs clicked around Chloe's wrists. Her sign dropped to the pavement, wrinkled and ignored. As officers led her to the patrol car, she twisted for one last plea. "Dad, please think of Emily and Jackson. They adore their grandfather. Emily and Jackson will have learning funds when they turn 28. I answered calmly. "If they learn to display respect and thankfulness, traits their mother never had." The police car drove off, taking Chloe toward handling and booking. Neighbors started scattering, but several came to me with looks of backing rather than prying. "Knox, we saw your talk in the Times," Mrs. Walker said, coming up my driveway. "That unfortunate woman does not grasp how much harm she has done to her own situation." "It is tragic." "Really," I replied, watching the patrol car vanish around the bend. But some folks never learn that actions bring results. As the group spread out, I went back to my study and checked the phone footage I had taken. 50 minutes of Chloe breaking her restraining order, making open charges, and showing precisely the unstable conduct that had caused her legal problems from the start. Marcus would be very keen on this newest proof. The court date was nearing, and Chloe had just supplied the last bit of record needed to make sure my win was full and lasting. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Dad, they are saying I will face criminal charges now. Can we please talk before this worsens?" Too late for that talk. Far too late. 1 week after Chloe's arrest, I sat across from Marcus in his downtown Seattle office, watching him set up the most thorough legal proof package I had ever viewed. Papers filled 4 bankers' boxes, money scam evidence, digital watching logs, restraining order break videos, and witness reports from neighbors, bank staff, and IT experts. Knox. In 35 years of family law, I have never seen a case this completely recorded, Marcus noted, spreading key shows across his conference table. Your engineering history appears in every element. Systematic setup avoids weak results, I answered, studying the proof display. When do we show this to the judge? Both sessions are set for next week. The criminal case for restraining order break and the civil dispute to your will. Judge Thompson will examine all thoroughly. The courthouse halls hummed with activity as we got there for the joined hearings. Marcus wheeled 2 cases of proof while I carried my video testimony gear. Local news had gathered, drawn by the elder mistreatment side that had made my story locally important. Inside the courtroom, Chloe sat by her court-given lawyer, looking reduced and frantic. She dodged eye contact, staring instead at the table where her attorney sorted through a sadly thin file of defense points. Your Honor. Marcus started his show. We have organized proof of elder mistreatment over multiple years, growing from feeling control to money scam to privacy breach. Judge Thompson, a strict woman in her 60s, checked the first show, enlarged photos of fake signatures next to my real ones. The writing study is quite evident. These signatures do not align. Correct, Your Honor. Bank safety footage displays the defendant getting credit using false papers, leading to $50,000 in unauthorized debt against my client's holdings. The digital proof was even more harming. Alex Rivera testified via video connection, explaining how Chloe had kept organized watching of my private accounts, email and health logs for over 3 years. She entered his banking apps every day, Alex reported, his technical skill adding trust to every word. We found private messages where she talked about waiting for his natural end while tracking his money activity. Those messages shown on the courtroom's big screen made clear unease among watchers. Chloe's casual talk of my death, her impatience with my ongoing health, her cynical figures about inheritance schedule, all kept in condemning detail. Your Honor, Chloe's lawyer tried harm control. My client was mourning her mother's passing and under severe money pressure. Money pressure she made through her own criminal acts. Marcus cut in smoothly. Pressure she built through her own unlawful behavior. Jack testified about our 50-year friendship, describing my shift from mourning widower to assured supporter. His feeling testimony about seeing the wine-throwing event gave strong setting for my later choices. Knox became a different man after that Christmas Eve. Jack explained, not resentful, but resolved, centered on shielding himself and aiding other older folks facing like control. The last proof was my video will account taped in Marcus's office with pro lighting and sound. Judge Thompson watched closely as I methodically explained each choice, referenced exact events, and showed my full mental ability. If someone is viewing this tape, it means my daughter has challenged my will after death. My recorded voice said calmly. Every choice recorded here was made deliberately with legal advice and based on major proof of her organized abuse and money use. Chloe's lawyer made one last try. Your Honor, families have clashes. This seems an extreme reply to one night of feeling outburst. Counselor, Judge Thompson cut in sharply. The proof shows organized money scam, privacy entry, and ongoing control over years. This is not a family clash. This is elder abuse. The rulings came quickly. Criminal guilty for restraining order, break leading to community work, and longer protection orders. Full approval of my new will with all disputes thrown out. Legal costs given to my side. Further ruining Chloe's money spot. Outside the courthouse, media folks asked for comments on my win and its meanings for elder abuse stop. Justice has won. I told the cameras, standing assuredly beside Marcus on the courthouse steps. My grandchildren will get education help when they turn 28, but only if they show the respect and thankfulness their mother never learned. True family is made on love and respect, not blood duty. As I drove home through Seattle's known streets, I felt something I had not known in over a year. Total calm. The methodical effort that started with recording wine marks had ended in complete win, legal approval, and community backing. Christmas was 4 weeks away. Time to organize a fest worthy of my new chosen kin. Christmas Eve morning, 2025. Exactly 1 year since Chloe threw wine in my face. I stood in the same kitchen making Christmas dinner with real joy instead of desperate wish. The guest list had shifted greatly. Jack and his new girlfriend Ruth, Alex Rivera with his wife Sarah, and 7-year-old son Tommy, Aunt Martha, the Walker neighbors, and Detective Morgan, who had become a pal during the scam probe. I arranged the dining room table with care, placing a manila envelope at each spot. Inside each, a copy of my final will explained simply, showing how respect and loyalty had gained them parts in my estate. Uncle Knox. Tommy rushed through the front door before his parents, his vigor filling the home with the sound I had missed most. Children's giggles without fear or strain. Tommy, my budding engineer, I replied, kneeling to his height. Did you bring the design we talked about? He proudly showed a crayon sketch of a spaceship, complete with details only a 7-year-old could dream. This is the motor that runs on holiday treats. See Smart Plan. We will make a model after dinner. As guests came, the home changed into something Madeline would have cherished. A place filled with folks who picked to be there, who prized bonds over inheritance hopes. Jack carved the turkey while Ruth set flowers. Sarah aided with side dishes, while Alex tasted the wine I picked with real skill instead of showy claim. At 6 o'clock, we gathered around the same table where my kin had collapsed 12 months before. The difference felt deep but not pushed. True happiness replacing desperate fancy. Before we dine, I declared, standing at the head of the table, I want to clarify these envelopes. Last Christmas, I learned that blood does not make family, love, respect, and shared support. That is what creates people family. Tommy opened his envelope first, reading aloud with 7-year-old resolve. Tommy Rivera will get Uncle Knox's engineering volumes and workshop gear when he turns 19. If he keeps being curious and compassionate. Laughter spread around the table as others found their gifts. Jack getting the home and main estate handling, Alex receiving tech holdings and learning funds for Tommy, the Walkers getting Madeline's yard and conservatory, Aunt Martha getting kin photos and treasures. This is lovely. Knox, Ruth whispered, examining her paper. You have made family through pick rather than genes. Madeline always said families expand through love. Not just blood, I answered, raising my wine glass in the same place where Chloe's attack had begun this path to true kin. The folks who choose to love us for who we are, not what we can give. 9 glasses rose in united cheer. Tommy clinked his apple juice against my wine with formal seriousness. During dinner, talk flowed naturally between news on the elder abuse help group I started, Tommy's schoolworks, Jack and Ruth's trip plans, and Alex's newest safety consulting win. No one brought up Chloe or the legal fights. That part had closed fully. After dessert, while Sarah and Ruth handled leftover sharing, and Jack helped Tommy adjust spaceship designs, I stepped out into the sharp December night. Stars glowed clearly above Seattle, and Christmas lights twinkled in neighbors' windows like ground stars. The change felt whole, but not over, a close that was at once a start. 1 year ago, wine had dried on my shirt while I planned systematic payback. Tonight, laughter rang from my dining room, while folks I truly cherished marked it together. Madeline's spirit felt strong in the winter breeze, not as recall, but as agreement. I had learned her key lesson. Real families are built through daily picks to love, respect, and back each other. Blood might give the start, but nature sets the end. Tommy's voice called from inside. Uncle Knox, come see our spaceship. It has treat fuel and all. I smiled up at the stars one last time, then returned to my house, my home, where my chosen kin waited with engineering sketches in crayon and hearts full of the only legacy that truly counted. Love freely offered and thankfully taken. The grandfather clock chimed 8, marking not a close, but a fresh start, filled with chances as boundless as Tommy's dreams and as firm as the bond that had held me through the hardest year of my life. True family had found me at last. As the grandfather clock's chimes faded into the night, I realized that true family isn't given. It's earned through kindness and trust. This journey taught me that, and I hope it resonates with you too. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt tales. Share your impressions in the comments below. What did you think of Knox's transformation, or perhaps Chloe's consequences? Feel free to ask questions. I'd love to discuss more and interact with you all. Your thoughts make this community special. To listen to the next story, click on the box to the left. Thank you for watching.